right? You don't need to have any big objects like a big mountain with waterfalls coming out from here and there, and all the avatar birds flying here and there. No. So even with this, you can see a nice composition. Okay, like the teapot was left there by a Viking, and it's far gone for a long time, and it has a story there. Maybe you add some smoke and fire, and done. You know what I mean? Well textured, well composed, you get a nice scene. That's it. All right. You don't need to think of I have to take out an alien from the ground to to jump on the building and then to bring it down and so forth. All right. You don't really need all this. So basically, if you want to texture this, do you all want to use fog or you don't want to use fog? It's quite cool though. So anyways, I'll just on and off. Right. Mental ray we do later. It's quite fun though. So these are things actually will give you a fun momentum when you're doing lighting. Alright, this is where you are actually making a beauty pass, right, to make it more awesomely great, look more better. Right, normally what I'll do is I'll add some light. I won't have it too high intense. Alright, the reason why being is the higher the intense is, it is much more, it's too bright. It will have it will show your blotchiness, your colors to be bleeding extremely blindfold, right? So you have to be careful with that. Normally when you have skylights, what I will do, nobody is right, okay? Normally what I'll do is I will start adding the I'll start adding the profile lights, alright, to support the whole look and feel. I'll use this a lot so it doesn't go extremely can you see the reason why I'm using this? It's to give it like your a smooth transition. I love to use this. It's one of my favorites in 3ds Max. Yeah, we need to make this bigger. Right. So once you're happy with this, and then you go to parameters, your phone, maybe here you can make it bigger so it disperses more. I spoke to you guys last week about this. Alright. You can choose the rectangle or circle or whichever you want, with either these two. Okay. So you play with it. It's not necessarily um, circle all the way. It depends how stylized you want your scene to be. Alright. Advanced effect, you don't really want to touch this because it's like whatever. Okay. Shadow you can adjust, maybe not black, darker purple. Right. This is my way of doing. You set your own style. Alright. So if you want map, you can add map. For instance, I'll pick some maps from here. Noise maybe. And now let's see how it looks. The map can be shadow map is only black and white and something like alpha. If you draw a leaf, a lot of leaf branches, right? Then you can project that shadow. So it's a trick that you play here and there. but it's not always great. You have to know exactly how you want to play with it. So now, as you can see here, the scene is much more epic. Okay, so the scene is epic. Can you see it has that warm sort of sun? Sun. Maybe the lava is starting to, the mountain is starting to erupt. All right, eventually. And you can already add and see what sort of light you can adjust the intensity of it, the color, right? The more red you go, maybe you want to have a red scene and so forth, then you can play with it. Right, these are simple experiments that you can play with. Maybe what you can do is you can even add another copy whereby you want to have, since the light is coming from back, maybe you can add something sharp, as in the rim light, right? Rim light, and then now you foresee what you have, and you increase. Maybe you don't use map, right? And you increase the intensity. Now let's see. It might be good, might not be good. I don't know, right? So this is all you have to test first before you could even test. Right? You don't judge yet. Understand? So you have to test a lot of things. So when you're doing this, can you see it makes a lot of difference in terms of just adding two lights, right? One, you see the sun sort of light is just rising up, the sort of sunset, right? And then you see the profile rims behind, it's coming in. The, what's his name? Ninja. Yes. If you really want to talk, please, the door is all open. Okay? Just walk there straight, few steps, open the door, you can go out and shout and talk about things as much as you want. Whoever wants to listen, go ahead. Alright? Don't waste my time. Understand? So I told you all this now, so you all said you all understand, and now you are doing back the same thing. You really don't want to listen, the door is open, you can go. Okay? Later on you're going to come and ask me questions about lighting. I would never even bother to teach you anything. Understand? As simple as that. Okay. Okay, so you can play with it, up to you how you want to do it, blah blah blah. The more the merrier. More lights is nice, but more lights will kill you at the same time. So be smart with what you want to use. Alright, so normally remember, red and blue is to bring out your profile, character's profile or the scene's profile, the ambience by itself. The skylight is another option, as for GIs, right? Take GIs. Apart from that, try, if it's too heavy, you have to reduce the samplings, right? So let's say skylight is too heavy, maybe the ray samples you can reduce it. The higher, the merrier. The lower, the faster. Okay, higher, expensive, lower, of course lah, not that expensive, it's cheap already ma. Right, so extra ambience and all that, then you can add and play with it. Alright, don't be shy with this. So up to you how you want to set it. But this guy, not only this, you can also adjust the other stuffs around here. Bounces, don't be a hero to go and put 2 3. Okay, the more you put bounces, the super heavy it gets. Okay, but all these are proven good renderers, right? You can get a extremely fast rendering with different plugin. V-Ray is not as fast as Final Render. Alright, I can get this result within seconds in Final Render. So it's just one click, pop, done. Right? But of course, it has pros and cons. So sometimes KANNAN Final Render sort of, I use a lot of Final Render. So Final Render will give you flickers, especially if your topology is not right, and if you have any transparent objects. The moment you have transparent objects, that's where you're going to cry. Right? Even any renderer, no matter which super renderer you're going to bring in, transparent is a big no. Right? Alpha, they call it alpha. Alpha is a killer. So for our games and all that, it would look beautiful. You don't need to have a lot of segments and blah blah blah. We rather lose segments than lose. Rather lose geometry, which is CPU, than GPU. You know what I mean? Geometry is more on CPU, right? GPU is more on your rendering, your graphic cards, and blah blah blah. So you rather lose on geometry than graphics. You know what I mean? So geometry, at least you can play with it, but graphics is too expensive, right? So the other settings, if you want glow and all that, everything is here. 8. You can add effects, you want rays and stuff like that. So for instance, if I want ray from my light, then basically I have to add effect, atmosphere and effects bottom here. But this is something that I would not suggest to, because this sucks. Alright, the moment you put this, you have to go and see the setup. Oh gosh. Alright, and all sort of crap things will happen here, and this is where you're gonna cry. See this, you have to click this, you go here, far alternation, near, blah blah blah, exponential. So let's see how it renders. Now you're gonna have a horrible light sort of feel. You know what I mean? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's like somebody is coming down, an alien is coming down a portal that's open. Ta-da! Right? So you can play with this, but it's not something that I would advise. If you can tweak it well, fine, go ahead. If you can't, don't bother. Right? So when you want to tweak, you go ahead and do. You can remove from the light, and you can just pick every single light. Alright? No phones. Alright? Okay. This is, I leave it to you guys. Okay? For you to adjust. But try not to lah. Okay? So basically that's how it works. But remember, when you press 8, when you have a sky map on your background. Alright, when you have sky background, right, a map on the background, it will actually project anywhere where your everywhere in the viewport, basically. Alright, you know what I mean? No matter how much you rotate, it will project. So it's like a big plane. Okay, I'm putting a plane wherever it is going, I'm there. Okay, but if it's it should be, normally it should be in a tiled version. Okay, the sky map should be tiled. If not,